And once again, we have ace-jack. You might be shocked again. This is sort of an interesting paradigm that you get into here. Is whether to c-bet and then double barrel a hand like ace-jack here, or is there more value to checking and picking off bluffs? Because we really don't know anything about this player, but the board is really connected, I think my default on this exact board texture would be to get at least 2 streets of value and then evaluate the river. Once he calls the turn, first of all, I do like Xorthios' bet size on the turn because he made it quite small and therefore made Jeremy's range of calling the turn quite wide, which is really important. And an example of really good bet size, and I haven't seen a ton from him in this video, so that's really encouraging. On the river, this is a really close play in my opinion. If the river had been something like a 10, which might have added a little more opportunity for him to call us with worse, with a hand such as Queen 10, I definitely think I would have bet in that scenario. Here, I just think it's a little bit too thin, and we just don't know much about the player at all. So I'm fine with checking it back. If he ended up betting the river, definitely one of those, if it's even a mistake, I'm totally fine with it, because value betting too thinly is never going to be, it's always going to be a fixable problem, and it's always going to be something that, that could be looked at as a positive. So I'm totally fine with that. It's still happening actually at Queen 10, so the 10 would have been a good card to bet, but I think that's well played there. And because we don't really know anything about the player, and assuming that the hero has been playing on the site for quite a while, that would probably lead me to believe that he's more of a fish, thus making the double barrel for value better with ace-jack than checking back the flop for sure. If we turn ace-jack into, for some reason, we had a hand like jack 3, then I would definitely lean more towards checking back the flop. And of course, these are all things that you have to do in percentages. You obviously can't be always betting ace-jack there or always checking, at least against better opponents. Against fish, when you find lines that really work, you can just keep hammering them home all day. And really easy open with ace-jack here. On this table, we've been the most aggressive, but at the same time, I also think that no dicks is sort of filtering the action on this table more than anyone else. This was a super interesting hand here. Then I went back and forth with myself a few times here. Now, no dicks again opens in the small blind, which I believe this is the 5th or 6th time that he's done it. Either way, I'm positive that he's done it every single time when check 2. Now, therefore the 3-bet is going to be profitable in a vacuum, right? And if you're playing with a complete math guy, like, I don't know, if you're just playing with a math center base, like no SD or something like that, that really evaluates the math of poker more than the relationships with the players, then he's going to say that yes, you're definitely going to be showing profitability, getting the money in here. I'm not sure it's that straightforward here. First of all, while we have been calling a lot in the big line, we have not been 3-betting at all. So I think immediately our 3-bet looks stronger than it normally would be. Secondly, I also believe that we are rather unsure of his 4-betting frequency. I would assume that he would be sort of expecting us, because we are regulars, to be 3-betting at some point because he's opened every single small blind. But at the same point, Xorthio might just have a really tight image, and therefore playing 10s for value just as an overall game plan, regardless of the dynamics within the session, is just going to be a poor play. Ultimately, I think that it's okay to have a very strong calling range here. My default would sort of be to get queens in here against a guy that I didn't have a ton of information against. And if I'm playing like Xorthio, I'd get queens and ace-king in, and jacks and 10s I'd just simply call. So I think this is perfectly fine here.